Is someone on the live stream to see if it's working? Yep, it's live. They need one.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Penelope De Leon, and I'm your very, very proud superintendent of schools. Could you hear that? That was just a sound check. We will be. That was just a sound check. We will be beginning at 6 o'clock sharp. Can I see what my face looks like real quick? I'm worried about that. I'm looking older every day. This is not good. I don't wear makeup except for a little eyeliner. Oh, there I am. Okay. Try to get a good angle.
Rocky, looking at power and everything.
I don't know. Does it look like the lightings? They come over here and tell me, although this is not Hollywood, so I have no expectations.
Hey, everybody who's already here and ready for the presentation. I noticed some of you are writing in the chat. When the presentation starts, we will have a link to a Google form where you can ask questions, and my amazing team will be answering those questions throughout the night. So if you can hold on tight, we won't be able to answer in the chat, but if you hold on tight on every single slide, there will be a link that'll take you to the Google form. So hold those thoughts. We'll get to them in a minute. Hey, everybody, this is our 5-minute sound check. Just trying to make sure we're up and running when it's time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our very first parent forum of the 2021 school year. My name is Penelope De Leon, and I'm your very, very proud superintendent of schools. Before we begin tonight, I would like to say for our parents who speak a language other than English as their primary language, for Glendora families who would like information on interpreters, our interpreters are taking notes and will send the notes to you. In addition, if you have a question you'd like to ask in the live portion of this session, please send it in. I will add the question and answer to the Ask the Superintendent post on the website later this week. Thank you for coming this evening. So let's go ahead and begin with our first slide. Oh, also, before I forget, I do want to let you all know that we will not be monitoring the chat tonight. However, we do have at the bottom of your slide, you'll see a URL, a link to our Google page where you can ask questions. As the questions come in, at the end of each section, we'll take our most popular questions and I will answer that during Q&A. So let's begin. So I wanted to talk to all of you tonight about a few topics. Let's begin with, I think, what's on everybody's mind, which is distance learning. The first thing I want to do before we get started is I want to thank our incredible Learning Redesign Coalition and subgroups. This summer, we have had over 200 teachers, administrators, and support staff who have been participating in our Learning Redesign Coalition and have helping us plan for distance learning all summer long. Additionally, I want to thank all of those people who gave up their summer to really try to make education for our students in Glendora Unified the very best it can be. I'd like to talk. Oh, I'm hearing that there's a little bit of an echo. Is that better? Can you guys, is that echo better? I'm getting feedback that there's a lot of feedback on it. Sorry. Technical difficulties. This is our first time doing a live stream. I want to make sure there's no echoing.
I'm hearing way better.
Better?
Is it better now? Can you all hear me without an echo? Could you let us know in the chat? We're working on making sure everybody turns off all of their microphones so that we don't echo.
Sound there. No sound here.
Oh, wonderful. I'm hearing that it's lots better. Great. So before I continue, again, I do want to thank all of our staff that gave up the entire summer to really prepare for you so we can have an outstanding school year. Let's talk a little bit about expectations. Oh, they're telling me to pause again. There are echoes.
Okay, tell me how.
Maybe it's the mic. Do you want to go to?
Sorry about this, folks.
Believe it or not, we did do a sound
It's this
check
one.
and
It's
nobody
that
told
one.
us there were echoes.
It's that one.
Is it better? Let us know in chat. Is it better? We're going to keep trying until we can figure out what's going on with the microphone situation here.
Yes, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to continue then.
We're getting the yeses.
Okay, wonderful. Let's talk about a little bit about expectations for the new school year. When we went out on distance learning back in March, I want you all to know that no school district had any plans together, and it was exceptionally difficult, especially because most school districts, including Glendora, did not have devices for teachers or students. We have done a lot of work over this summer to make sure that all of our teachers have devices and any student that needs one has one. In the meantime, we've been doing everything we can to make sure we're prepared for distance learning, including purchasing a new learning management system called Canvas. So before we start talking about that, I do want to ask everyone for two things during distance learning. grace and patience. The grace to let us learn. We are still learning. This is a learning curve for everyone. We are not going to be perfect on day one, but we're going to work towards that. And we're going to work towards that outstanding education that Glendora is known for. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen right away. But we also want you to know that that grace is going to go both ways. And we have asked all of our teachers to have grace, patience, and flexibility with our students as they get used to distance learning. Another thing I want to mention is the new slogan for Glendora High School, which I'm really proud of and which I think really goes for all of us. Glendora Grit. I want all of us to hang in there, to stick with it. When we have problems, you'll have a helpline, a tech desk to please try that and stick with it. Really put in as much effort as you can, and we will make it through this together. We absolutely will. We can do everything together. Next slide. At this point, all of you should have received information from your principals regarding materials distribution. And in fact, I've been to many, many sites and watched the lines of cars go through drive-through pickup. As you know, what's different this time is we're making sure that you get all of your textbooks, materials, and our teachers will be doing projects with you, and we'll make sure that you have materials for that as well. We also wanted to let you all know that we wanted to make sure that all students who needed Chromebooks got them and hotspots, meaning, and let me define need. What we mean is people who did not have, students who did not have devices at home or who did not have Wi-Fi at home. So I want to apologize up front if there were any mixed messages around that, but at this point, we do believe that everyone is receiving them or has already received their Chromebook or hotspot. So we're really proud of that. Also, I want everyone to know that we have a technology tab on our GUSD website. On that tab will be information on specs for those of you who need to get on and make sure that the computer you have at home meets the specs needed for Canvas. We'll also have all kinds of FAQs and information about technology on that website. It's called Return to Learning tab when you go onto our website. So a lot of you have been asking about when are we going to get on Canvas? When are we going to get our logon information? Instructions for your logon for Canvas are coming this Thursday at 8 a.m. When you go on to Canvas, if you are unable to get on for some reason, our parent-student tech help desk at 626-385-5600 will be live. It goes live Thursday at 8 a.m. It'll be manned from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. At this point, I am going to stop and let my team tell me what the most popular questions are so that I can answer that for our parents.
Can you tell us about the curriculum for the GOLD program?
So I have a question about the curriculum for the GOLD program. Our GOLD program is using a curricular platform called Edgenuity. Edgenuity is a pre-written, fabricated, developed curriculum that we purchased. The way it's used is students will log into their Edgenuity course. They will be given a set of courses. The courses will be opened for them. Most students, typically what we found really works for Edgenuity and for GOAL, we're calling it GOAL, is that they do 1 or 2 courses at a time at the most. Usually 1 course at a time, work through the course, and then we start the next course. Your teachers will work with you and open up quizzes as it's time, and students work at their own pace independently through the curriculum until they take the quizzes at the end, at which point they complete the course and are given credit. Students may do this at their own pace and will continue through it until they're done with all of their courses. I have another question, popular question. When can I pick up my Chromebook that I need and where? At this time, I'm going to turn that over to our Director of Technology, Will Carter, who's going to give you the specifics.
Hello, everyone. What I recommend is contacting the principal for your time and date to pick up your Chromebooks, and then try to show up on time and early. That way we can make sure everybody gets the Chromebook that they need.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. I appreciate it. Are there any other really popular questions that I can answer right now? I want to make sure I get. That's it for now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can
One more.
students on goal participate on the Wednesday Wellness Day?
Yes. So this is a great question. Can students on goal participate in Wellness Wednesdays? Yes. In fact, we want our students to participate in the activities on Wellness Wednesdays, which are going to be enumerated by our executive director, Paul Lopez, here in a few minutes. We also want to encourage all of our goal students to please participate in whatever extracurricular activities, specific electives that are not available on goal. And clubs. You can participate in clubs too. We want to encourage our goal students to have the interaction that is so critical for our students to thrive. Okay.
How will the email regarding campus come from? Will it come through Blackboard?
Yes. Yes. So the question was, how will we receive our information on Canvas and how to log into Canvas Thursday morning at 8? You will receive a Blackboard Connect message from your principal. So keep your eyes peeled. Thursday morning at 8, everybody will send it out at the same time. And our help desk will be ready. Okay. Any other questions at this point? Wonderful. We'll move on to the next slide. What are Wellness Wednesdays? So I wanted all of you to know that this year we are really working very hard to ensure that our students are able to thrive in distance learning. We know that that the pandemic has been extremely difficult for our kids. We know that not having the social interaction with their peers, their friends, their teachers, their counselors, their principals has been incredibly difficult. But we want to give them the opportunity to have activities that will help them thrive socially, emotionally, and also link them to the resources that they need. At this time, I'm going to have Paul Lopez, our Executive Director of Special Education and Health Services, talk to you a little bit about Glendora Healthy Minds. Mr. Lopez.
Good evening.
You want to sit and get in front of camera?
I can stand right here.
Okay.
Good evening, Glendora. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm glad you tuned in tonight to find out the particulars with distance learning and with the Glendora Unified School District. I have to tell you, I was happy to head up the mental health wellness group this subcommittee, because we have an amazing group of educators. And one group that I really want to point out is our counseling group. They did a tremendous job. And there is going to be no way that any of our students will go unserved if they don't want to. So the hours that they put in were amazing, not only just for the subcommittee meetings, but the hours of putting together the website and putting together the video that I'm hoping you're either going to see later on tonight or maybe early in the morning. As far as Wellness Wednesdays, it's going to include activities for students, staff, and families. Yes, we said families. We're not just going to concentrate on our students. We are going to concentrate on our students in a lot of areas, but we want to make sure our staff is healthy. We want to make sure that you as families, as adults in our community, are healthy. So we are going to make sure that we push out activities for you and that you're able to access those activities. And the counselors will be pushing out those activities to the school community on every single Wednesday. We also are going to form, and I think we already have this at the high school level, and maybe at the middle school level, but we're going to have a Glendora Healthy Minds Club. So think about that for your kids, your young kids that are in elementary school. We're going to have it at every level. We're going to have it at elementary, middle, and high. And we're going to meet on Wednesdays, and the counselors will send out Zoom links, and they're going to have activities that the students will go through, and to just have conversations and discussions about what's going on in their lives so that we can help them navigate through the daily living activities and the curriculum activities that are going on. This will be formalized by your counselor at each of your sites. They will be pushing out things. They will tell you exactly how to get to those activities, where the landing pad will be. And we look forward to a great year. So we also, and I don't want to forget this, we have a Glendora Healthy Minds website that's available for you 24/7. You had a QR code that you received during registration. Just put your camera on that, and it'll bring you right to the website. And there are plenty of resources for anybody that isn't feeling like they're really connected at this point. So, and the last thing, we are purchasing a social emotional learning platform called Character Strong, which some of our teachers have had training in, but that will be at all levels, and our counselors are going to start using that right away. Glendora, if we lock arms and we do this together, there's nobody that will stop us.
Thank you, Mr. You got another section coming to real quickly, just to tell them what's going to happen with Sbac.
Okay.
Give me a second. So do we have any questions and answers? Or excuse me, any questions? We have the answers around Wellness Wednesdays. It's so exciting. And before we start with the questions, I do want to give a shout out to our counselors. They're amazing. They've been working all summer. Wait till you see what they have planned. It is going to be incredible. Thank you so much. So what's our first question, everyone?
So they would like to know when they'll get to know who their teachers are.
Oh, okay. So the first question is, when will I know who my teachers are? So with that answer, I have Brock Jacobson, our Director of Student Services, who also does instructional technology. Brock.
Thank you, Dr. De Leon. The quick answer to that is from a middle and high school standpoint, they should be getting those schedules this week as their registration material and schedule pickup days have been happening despite this crazy heat. From an elementary standpoint, because I'm assuming those are the folks that are asking that question, we will have that information to you on Friday of this week. So Friday is when our elementary folks, our students will get to find out who their teachers will be for the 2021 school year.
Oh, that's always the most exciting day to find out who your teacher is. Cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. Do we have any other questions?
Yes.
What do we have?
When will we get to start sports again, and how will that work?
Oh boy. When do we get to start sports again, and how will that work? We are really fortunate that we actually have somebody on our amazing staff who happens to be, get this, on the executive board of CIF. That would be Mr. Paul Lopez. Here he is.
Hopefully I don't take as long as I took last time. As far as sports go, there's CIF calendar is on our website, I believe, and the CIF calendar. Right now, it looks like we're pushing for a January start for our fall sports. So, they took the 3 seasons of sports and they condensed those into 2 seasons of sport. And but we will be trying to get in every single sports with reduced schedules, not very reduced, but with reduced schedules. So we're going to try to get all the CIF playoff championships in, state playoff championships in, and everything. So, but with that being said, a January start doesn't mean the preparations start in January. It means our athletes have to be ready ahead of time. So hopefully your students that are in athletics are doing some training just to get ready for the January kickoff for sports. Will there be choices for what students do on Wellness Wednesday? Yes, there's going to be. We're probably going to give them 3 or 4 choices for things to do on Wellness Wednesday. And again, that'll be pushed out by your counselors, or we'll have a platform. Maybe they'll use Canvas and the counselors will make Canvas accounts. But yeah, there will be choices. And some will be very simple and maybe some will be very challenging. But we encourage you to use them either as a student, a staff member, or a family. We want you to have those conversations because that's the way we're going to make it through.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. I'm going to call you back in a second. I know I am. We've got more information. Wonderful. Do we have any other popular questions? Oh, they're writing them as we speak.
We do. We have a question, Dr. De Leon, about the safety protocols that we're required to follow in the classroom when students return to school.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Mr. Shaldu, why don't you have a seat? You want to have a seat? Or no? Or no? No, he really doesn't want to have a seat. He's like, no.
Good evening, everyone. The LA County Department of Public Health provides very stringent guidelines for reopening of schools. We will be adhering to those guidelines, also along with a waiver process that the school district has to apply for once we do reopen schools under different scenarios. So we are awaiting their guidance. It's all based on the data pertaining to Glendora and the LA County or actually just LA County overall. So we are awaiting their guidelines. However, behind the scenes, we are putting together as much personal protective equipment as well as everything else that we need to do to keep our students and staff as safe as possible. There was another question regarding technology. Do we need web cameras for our children to participate in class? In order to provide a good experience, having a web camera is something that we need to have interaction in our classes. So the answer is yes. However, there's multiple ways in order to obtain that web camera and those devices necessary. I would say it would be best to call our helpline, and I'll give that number one more time. That is area code 626-385-5600. And we'd be asked to call them. That line will be available tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. Monday through Friday for the following week, as well as on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Shaldu. I keep forgetting tomorrow is already Thursday. You're going to get your log on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. That's awesome. Hey, you guys, I also wanted to say one other thing, a couple things about safety. Just remember, and I want you all to know this, when we come back, I'm going to need every single student, every single adult in this district to commit to wearing their masks and socially distancing themselves at school. I know all of you have seen videos of other schools where kids have crowded into hallways and whatnot, where COVID has spread like wildfire through those schools. And we don't want that for our kids. We want to keep our kids and adults safe. So do know that when you come back, you're going to have to wear masks and you're going to have to follow all the safety protocols. But I know you can do it. We can do it. We can do anything in Glendora. That's what I do know. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. And then also about the cameras, you know what? I have a plug-in. You can get a little plug-in camera that costs almost nothing. So don't worry if you don't have one. All right. Any other questions for this section? No? Good. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Now, students with special services. I did want to touch on this. I have gotten a few emails from parents, and often parents will ask questions about this in the Ask the Superintendent. And by the way, I hope Ask the Superintendent is helpful for you. But when people ask questions about their individual kids, I try to have them email me. And I've gotten quite a few emails about students who have IEPs, 504s, and English learners. And are they going to get services that when we went to distance learning, there were some services we weren't able to deliver. You will be getting services. Absolutely. I know you are all anxious to hear from your service providers and case carriers and your English language learner teachers and the bilingual aides, and they will be contacting you in the first couple weeks of school because we have to know who your teachers are first, and then our case carriers and our service providers work with your teachers to plan a schedule. So what I do want you to know is that you will absolutely have scheduled services to the very best of our ability virtually. We will be giving you more information about assessments. Many of you have assessments that are required for your annual and triennial annual IEPs. Those are going to be in person, and you will receive more information about that. They will be one-on-one. with a teacher or some staff member who will be doing those assessments, and we will give you further information on that. We did get permission from the county to bring one child at a time to do assessments because the assessments can't be done virtually. So I just wanted you to know that. And I already mentioned the communication plan that you will be hearing in the first couple weeks of school from your service providers and case carriers. At this point, I'm ready for any questions on this section. Are there any questions about special services for kids?
Will speech services be provided as part of what you're addressing?
Absolutely. The question was, will speech services be provided? Absolutely. Speech services will be provided. Right now, we are working with the LA County Department of Public Health to get access to the ability for them to grant us the ability to be able to provide services for students that can't be done virtually. I can tell you that as superintendent, one of my biggest heartaches has been, and my staff will tell you, I never stop harping about how are we going to serve our kids who need special services, and especially services that can't be delivered virtually. And we believe that LA County is going to allow us to do that for some very specific, very limited services in person with one child at a time, maybe two, social distanced. We don't have the guidelines nor details on that yet, but we will make sure you get those details. So I do want you to know that we are committed to getting you every kind of service that your child needs to be able to be successful.
Is there going to be a GATE program this year, Dr. DeLeon?
The question is there going to be a GATE program this year? Absolutely. In fact, and I have to thank the Glendora Education Foundation because they have graciously raised money again to pay for our GATE program and some wonderful GATE activities and curricula that will be online and virtual. And our GATE coordinator for our district is in the process of doing everything she can to make sure we have an awesome GATE program and activities for our students in GATE. So yes, we'll have it, and we're really excited about it. Any other questions?
Yes. Could you remind people after this, or before this, could you remind people to submit their questions through the link at the bottom of the slide? We're not answering chat, but we are reading them through chat.
So my wonderful, what they call themselves air traffic controllers, but they're my wonderful district office staff. And I'm going to give a shout out to them really quickly. They are monitoring your questions and they want to make sure that you're using the link in the bottom of the slide to ask your questions. It's a lot easier for them to be able to monitor. But let me give a shout out to our amazing air traffic controllers, Dr. Becky Summers, who is our Executive Director of Curriculum Instruction, and Dr. Virginia Kelson, who is our Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, and then the rest of our team, Paul Lopez, our Executive Director, Dr. Dominic DeGracia, our Assistant Sup of HR, Mark Chaldew, our Assistant Sup of Business Services, and also Dr. Jacobson, and Will Carter, yes, our Director of Tech, who you've met, and Brock Jacobson, our Director of Student Services. So I just had to give a shout out. I had to take a second because they are here as air traffic controllers and it is hopping. So I did want to give them a shout out tonight. So next question. What is Blackboard Connect? That is a great question. So Blackboard Connect is our way of communicating with our parents. And what it is, it's an all-call system where we put messages out in multiple modes to our parents, either by email, text, or phone call, to let you know that we have information for you. So that is how we keep our parents informed. So if you have not gotten set up, if you're new to our district, incoming student, and you have not gotten set up, you absolutely will once we get you set up and registered and rolled over into our system, into our Aries system. So you will absolutely have that ability. Yes. Next question is, what if I can't get into Aries? Mr. Jacobson is going to answer that. Would you like to sit here? Or
No, that's okay.
He's like, no, please, I don't want to.
I can answer it from right over here. This is Mr. Jacobson. And if anyone is having a challenge getting into Aries, what I recommend first is reaching out to your school office, the office manager or the registrar at the middle and high schools. And if that doesn't work, you can call the district office or email Kelly Flores, KFLORES, at the Glendora, blah, blah, blah. And she is the one that can help you with the Aries pieces. But I definitely, as the first point of contact, would be the office managers and your registrars at the school site.
All right. We have another question. How do I get a Chromebook? And I think we already answered that earlier. But if you are identified as somebody who does not have a device at home and needs one, just immediately contact your principal and they'll make sure that you get one. Okay, that's just the simplest thing to do. Email your principal, call your principal. They will make sure that you get one right away. Okay, thank you so much. All right, do we have any other questions for this section? Nope. Okay, let's move on to the next. All right, so now that we've given you all the or a lot of the important and pertinent information for the new school year, I do want to let you know that I am convening what is called the Superintendent's Student Advisory Council. I will do an Sbac at every grade level, so it'll be elementary, middle, and high school. And I will be doing that the third week. My first one will be the third week of school on Wednesday, September 9th. I will give you more times. It'll be after your Wellness Wednesday activities so that you have time to participate in those. And what this council is basically a way for me to get feedback from our students about how they are learning, what their educational experience is, what we can do better as a district. Because to me, those are the people who count, our students and the feedback that they have and their input for us. So I tell you that to tell you that if you're a student or you know that your child would be interested in being on our council, when that information and dates and times are sent out, to make sure you let your principal know, and they'll be getting me the names of the kids who are going to be on the council. So really excited about that. I cannot wait. Ever since I've been a superintendent, I've always run student advisory councils. I had one with 80 kids on it, and I loved it. And I got literally the best feedback that I've ever had from our kids, believe me. So look forward to that. Also, I wanted to let you know that our next meeting of our RISE Coalition, which is our Race, Inclusion, Social Justice, and Equity Coalition, will be September 21st at 6:00 p.m. If you or your child or any community member would like to participate on that, they can RSVP to my amazing assistant, Jana Wells, at jwells@glendora.k12.ca.us. And I do look forward to our work to ensure that every single child in Glendora Unified is able to reach his or her potential and has the supports to do so. So anyway, do we have any questions for this section?
Not for that, but
Not for this.
One that kind of goes back about performing arts and PE and music.
Wonderful. So we do have some questions that we've gotten a few questions around PE, music, and performing arts. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Dr. Becky Summers, who's going to answer those questions for you. And I'm sorry, this is a little awkward, but we're live streaming and there's no other way to do it.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to answer your question right now on performing arts, PE, and music, and how that works in the distance learning environment. We will have live meetings using Google Meet or Zoom that children will be able to click on when it's their time to go to music or PE. Our PE teachers have been getting ready to lead your students through activities that they can do at home, and the same with music. They can instruct them in music, and they can practice their music at home or sing together online. The same with drama. They're excited for when they do get to be together again and they can all play together or do their activities together. But for right now, we'll have to use the live links. While I'm here, I'm going to answer another question that goes back a few slides, which is about Wednesdays and whether or not Wednesdays are required and whether attendance will be taken. The answer is yes. Our expectation is that the students will attend school 5 days a week during the hours that we have set aside for them. Wellness Wednesdays is a little bit more flexible because they won't be interacting with their teacher. They will be able to go onto their Canvas course shell and pick some activities to do, and they can do that at any time of the day. At the end of the day, we will have a log for them to fill out to say what they chose to do on that day, and that's how we'll record their attendance. So those of you that are worried about childcare on Wednesdays, you do have some flexibility on that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Summers. Wonderful. My next question. Okay. The next question goes back a couple slides. Will much of the curriculum be taught this year? Are they planning for rigor, and will there be time to prepare? Yes, absolutely. Dr. Kelson, did you want to answer this, or would you like me to go ahead?
Please tell about all the work we've been doing this summer to get ready.
Okay. So, yes, absolutely. Our teachers have worked, and all of our committees have worked very, very hard this summer in every curricular area to prepare for the school year and what each content is going to look like online, which is different. This is not something we're used to doing. It's not something that it actually, and I'll tell you as superintendent, I'll be real honest with you. The best form of education is in our classrooms with our teachers. I want kids back. I want us to get through this so kids can come back. But since we're unable to do that, the next best thing is going to be our distance learning. And we have done so much work in every content area and every grade level to be able to prepare. It's not going to be exactly the same, but our teachers are preparing lessons. They will have content like they've had before. Students will have activities to do. They'll have assignments to submit. So it'll be very similar, but because it's a reduced amount of instructional minutes, we can't do every single activity we would have done during the school year, but certainly the vast majority of the content and the curriculum will be delivered, and it will be all of the essential standards will be delivered for sure. So do know that our teachers are working very hard on that for our students. But again, it won't be perfect right out of the gate. So we do ask for your grace and patience. Yes, what is the question?
How can my child join the Sbac?
How can my child join the Sbac? You can let your principal know. There will be an email sent out with a flyer and an email there to RSVP, so you can wait for that, or you can let your principal know at any time. I would recommend, though, that maybe you wait till next week or so to let them know, just simply because of us trying to get ready for the beginning of school. Our phones are ringing off the hook. So maybe hold on to that for another week or so, but you will definitely be getting an email with an RSVP link. So yes, any other questions that I can answer?
How will we know when students can return to school? How much notice will we have?
How will we know when students may return to school? That's a really great question. So the way the governor's orders are, this is what they state, is that once the county has come off of the monitoring list. So right now, LA County is one of many counties that is on the monitoring list, the state monitoring list. Once they are allowed to come off, they're permitted by the state to come off the list, then the county has to remain off the list and stabilized for 14 consecutive days after they come off the list. Once that happens, we will be ready to come back. Now, we are in the process of getting our plan and our application to the state together. The application takes 2 weeks. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that we will give you about 2 weeks notice while we're waiting for our application to get approved, which will hopefully will be enough time for you to prepare. And then when that happens, we will come back in a hybrid model, 1 day at a time, and phase in and continue to add days till we're back full time. And I know you're probably wondering, well, why are you not going to come back every day in person? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we need to ensure that we are able to deliver and execute our safety protocols, and that everybody is able to implement our safety protocols well before we add days. Because here's the rule that I need you all to hear. If 3 individuals on any site come up as COVID positive, we have to close that site. If 25% of our schools close, the entire district closes. So think about it. In our district, that's like 2.5, 3 schools. And so that's like a total of 6 people. So we have to make sure that when we bring you back, we've got everything nailed down and everybody's doing what they need to do to stay safe so that we can stay opened. So that's why we're going to be phasing back in. Any other questions?
We have questions about the school schedule and the teacher schedule.
Sure.
Would you like me to answer those?
We have questions about the school schedule and the teacher schedule. So I'll have Dr. Summers, who led our logistics and planning committee, answer that question for you.
Thank you. Hi there. We have questions about the schedules that students are keeping and that teachers are keeping. We want you to know your teachers are working their full contract day. The reason that we have students in school in the morning from 8:15 as the start day for most elementary and then a little bit later for middle and high school and go through about lunchtime is because that meets the minimum minute requirements or the minute requirements put out by the state on this matter. So we organized our schedule around that. There will be live meetings every day, every period. And we know it's not good for the kids to be online just for that whole day. However, after lunch, the teachers will hold office hours. They'll be available for additional support and help for parents and students. So they are still working during that time. And we encourage you to use those times as well. The last question here is, will teachers be taking attendance? Yes, every day they will take attendance. They'll check to see that your child is in the live meeting online and that they're engaging in their work on the Canvas course shell. So we will be reporting attendance every day.
Thank you, Dr. Summers.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Summers. Hi, everyone. This is Virginia Kelson, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. Good evening. I'm going to answer some questions about the GOAL program and about the arts programs for you. So first, a number of our families have reached out to ask, where is all the information for GOAL? And please know we are so excited to be starting this independent study program for our community. Our teachers are meeting. There was a message sent out by principals last night, and you will be contacted by your individual GOAL teacher within the next couple of days. Please know that that is very important to them. In fact, it is their number one priority as we look to the first official day of school for GOAL, which will also be the same as the rest of the district's first day of school, August 24th. A number of questions came through about whether or not GOAL students would have art, music, and PE. The answer is really important because it speaks to the unique nature of Glendora's commitment to see to it that students who are in an independent study program who want to participate in those programs have the opportunity to do so. They will be able to do that if it worked with their family's schedule to meet with those programs during the same time that distance learning students or students in the school-based model are meeting with those programs. And if I may, because this question is very popular, will there be school plays and what about the other arts performances? I have personally met with the teachers who teach in our arts programs almost weekly this summer, and I want you to know they are incredibly committed to maintaining the outstanding arts programs that are a part of our Glendora Pride, and they will be reaching out to students in their programs to see to it that we are doing all we can to keep that spirit alive. I'll turn it back over to Dr. DeLeon.
Thank you, Dr. Kelson. I'm back. I have to tell you, I have worked in some districts, some really big districts, some smaller districts. I can tell you this is one of the few districts I've ever worked in who has such a commitment to independent study students that they are able to thrive and participate in activities. That was something that we felt was really important for our students. So we are happy to do that, and we are really excited to offer those opportunities. Okay, any other questions on this? Okay, do you have a question? Moving on to the next slide. All right. PTA. This is my plug for PTA. Okay, here's what I know about Glendora. Just because I have been to the sites and I've seen the incredible work they've done. We have the most amazing PTAs that exist, period, end of conversation. So a PTA, for those of you who don't know what it means, it's the Parent Teacher Association. They're amazing, amazing. Hopefully you see them on social media and you've received information. You will receive information on PTA in your packets the first week of school. But I'm encouraging you to go onto your site websites and look for information on how to join. There's a tab on, most of the sites have a tab on the front page for PTA, and or some of those links are under the parent resource tab. So just go on there and look. They're amazing. They do so much good work for our schools. And in fact, we had PTA parents at Sellers today. I got to see them as they were distributing materials and helping our teachers do that today. So I do encourage you to please participate in your local PTA if you feel it like you really want to, but it's good for everyone. Okay, questions on that?
I'd like to give you a question on.
Another question?
I'd actually like to give you a question on why do we have the RISE program? How did this come about?
We got a question from a previous slide on RISE. Why do we have the RISE program? The RISE program came about because our students and our families really wanted it. And it came about after a lot of the incidents that happened in the spring. A lot of people were upset after the incident with Mr. Floyd. And there was an outcry of our students at our sites, students of all backgrounds, all ethnicities and races, teachers and parents reached out to our district and asked us to please address this in our schools. For me as superintendent, I think the most important thing for me is ensuring that every single student has an outstanding experience from the time they start in our district to the time they end. And so that, and no district is perfect, and no district, let me just put it this way, every single district can improve in this area. And so what we want to do is convene a coalition of community members, parents, and students to talk about how we can improve the experiences that every single student has on our campus. We have students of every walk of life, and we want to make sure that they thrive, like I said, and are able to reach their potential. In order to do that, we need to listen to our students, what their experiences are, and try to improve if it's not the way we want it to be. And so that is why we are meeting. We want to listen to the community and make sure that our students have an amazing experience every day. And that starts early. It starts in kindergarten. We want to celebrate everyone from every background, every ethnicity, and be able to celebrate their amazing contributions. So that's what RISE is about. And we're really excited to be convening that coalition in this district. And I do hope that if you're interested, you will RSVP. Okay, I have another question. Okay, here's the question. When will the Aries app work again? To answer that, Mr. Jacobson, who doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
Thanks, Dr. DeLeon. Mr. Jacobson here to answer that question. So there were some bugs on the Aries side of things with the parent and student portal app. So we had to temporarily turn that off on our side as we get those things resolved. We have come to rely on that just as much as the families in terms of its central role in keeping students and parents up to date on what's going on in terms of the grades, missing assignments, all of those different things. So it is very much in our plans to keep moving forward with that. I'm hopeful that we can get it back up and running by the end of this week, but certainly to begin school next week. The Aries app is central to what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobson, or Dr. Jacobson. Will students be accountable for work this fall? Yes, and attendance. You got to go to every class. You got to go every day. You got to tune in to live instruction. You got to do your work, and your grades will count. So yes, you will be accountable, and that's in distance learning and when we come back to hybrid and when we come back to full instruction. School is important, and we want you to do your very best. So that's the simple answer to that. Here's another question. If schools reopen and I'm not comfortable sending my student, what can I do? At that point, you will be able to move into goal independent study if you would like to keep your student at home. But do keep in mind that since goal is independent study and it is on a different learning platform, once you sign up for goal, you're in it for the rest of the year. You can't leave goal to come back to in-person instruction because the curriculum doesn't line up. They don't match. And it would be impossible to know where the student had ended, et cetera. There's just no way that it would be seamless. And so we are unable to have kids come from goal and go back to in-person instruction. Okay. Any other questions from my air traffic controllers?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a question about how we're going to support parents as they learn how to teach at home.
That's a great question. How are we going to support parents as they learn how to assist their students at home in distance learning? That is, it's really a challenge. And I was thinking back to when my 3 children, who are all about 20 months apart from each other, when they were in school and I was a working single mom, I don't know how I would have coped. So I do empathize with our parents, and we are going to do everything we can to support you. So at this time, Dr. Summers, who is also leading our parent subgroup, has an answer for you on that. There you go.
Hi again. Parent education is a work in progress, but we're committed to it. We do have a committee on parent and family engagement, and we have a parent educator on our staff through the adult ed program. And we plan to make available videos to help parents on a variety of topics. Besides the technology and the helplines and all of that to help you with your technology, we also want to be able to offer you videos to help you as you help your children with the academics, as you help your children social emotionally, and as you just deal with your home life of creating the schedule that you want for home and school balance. So this is in the works, but we hope that's an ongoing year-long project. And I'll be meeting with my committee throughout the year to find out how we're doing and how we can improve and what topics are needed as we move forward. So let me know. Thanks.
All right, nice job. Thank you so much. We did get a couple questions. A couple people ask about state assessments, Sbac testing. We don't know whether we will be Sbac testing this year. I think it would be really, really challenging considering we haven't had any preparation or any information on that. But when we find out, we will definitely let you know. But we haven't heard a thing on it, so. Okay, any other popular questions that I can answer?
Will the tutoring services the district has had, like tutor.com, be available this year?
Mr. Jakes, okay. The question was, will our tutoring services we've had in the past, like tutoring.com, be available this year? Mr. Jacobson.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to let you know that Canvas, the learning management system that we use, has an integration with tutor.com. So we will be making that available to the Glendora High School students as they have used that in the past, and it will be built right into their Canvas courses so they can access directly from there, which is a really exciting thing.
That's amazing. Man, I wish I would have had that as a kid. Okay, let's move on to the last slide. It's another shameless plug, but it's really, really important. Now, I'm going to tell you, as superintendent, I've been superintendent for a while in another district and worked for many, many years. This is my 29 or 30 years as an educator. This is my first time working in a district that has an education foundation. So I wanted to give you this information about the Glendora Education Foundation. We are incredibly fortunate to have GEF in our community. As you can see, there's a QR code to give you information about how you can get on. They have a fundraiser going on right now. But I want you to know that the Glendora Education Foundation has been absolutely integral in providing the resources for programs for our kids. All of the amazing extras that our kids get all the time is really often funded by the Glendora Education Foundation. And I can't tell you how thankful we are. So I just wanted to give you that information. And if you're interested to go onto the QR code or onto their website. So anyway, thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to answer the last couple questions, and then that will include our parent forum for the evening. Here's a question. How can I know the school schedules? Your school schedules are on the district website and also on your site website. So go on your school website, they're posted on there. And that's how you'll know when you're supposed to be in class, because remember, we're taking attendance. It's important. Got to be there. Also, if you go on the Glendora Unified School District website there and you go to the Return to School tab that I mentioned earlier, which I forgot what the name of it was, but it's the Return to School tab. There's an FAQ there, and many of these questions and other questions you might have will be there. It's lengthy. You can also follow up with questions on the Ask the Superintendent form, which you all have access to. It's on the website. We also have sent it out a few times on Blackboard Connect, and you can also get it by going onto our social media sites. The link is there as well. And please do follow up with questions if you have it. Yes, and Dr. Kelson.
Could you tell our fabulous audience about the message the principals are sending out this evening with the tutorial for getting in the portal and all of those good things?
Yes.
Or tomorrow morning?
It's tomorrow morning, yes. So again, I wanted to let you know, there's a question about when are we getting our login. So again, I just want to reiterate that tomorrow morning, I kept saying Thursday morning. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., you will be getting a message on Blackboard Connect from your principal. And in it will be instructions for how to log into Canvas, how to get up and running, how to get into your courses, etc. It'll all be there. There will also be in bold information about our tech help desk for parents and students, the number 626-385-5600. In case you have trouble trying to get in. So do know that that's available to you. You're going to get it tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. from your principals. Keep your eyes peeled. It's coming. I know you're all anxious. I am too. I can't wait. I actually love the first day of school. So in any case, at this time, we're going to go ahead and close our parent forum. Before I leave, I do want to thank all of you for watching tonight, participating, giving us your questions. Make sure if your question wasn't answered, that you do follow up with a question on Ask the Superintendent. You can follow up on the URL, the link that is shown on this slide. You can also check the FAQ to see if your answers are there. For our parents who do not speak English as a primary language, your answers and translations will be up and running for you by tomorrow or the following day. So I just wanted to let you know that. Again, thank you so much. I just want to let you know, when I said that I'm the very, very proud superintendent of Glendora Unified, I really meant it. I have had the warmest welcome to this district. All of you are wonderful. I look forward to serving you and your students, and I look forward